All right, we're ready to go. Good morning and welcome to KPC and anyone watching online. Good morning. Happy to have you here. We're going to begin, like we always do, beginning our meditation with an intention, with a compassionate intention. And we use the word bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So whatever we do here today, whatever merit or virtue we gather by doing this practice together, that we dedicate it to the benefit of all beings. And maybe you have a specific intention today for doing this meditation. So let's take a moment to hold that in our minds. All right. Our motivation is so important because it really determines the direction of our actions. So that's why we always begin with proper motivation and intention for our practice. So we'll also start with it's called the 7-line prayer. So it's on the front of the sheet, and I'll put it on the screen here. And we're going to do that prayer 3 times together. And if it's your first time reading Tibetan or seeing it, you can just, read the English along or however you want to read along with us. Let me just put this up. Organ yugi nucham sam pemange sarum pula yasan chogi no jumne pemajune shesudra Koru kandrom mampokur keki jesu dag druki jinjilob shir sheksu sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemange Sadam Pola Yasan Shogi No Jumne Pema Jungne Shisudra Koru Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Jinjilob Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemange Sardam Pola Yasan Chogi No Jumne Pema Jungne Shesudra Koru Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Jinjilob Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. So the meditation we're going to be doing today is called Shamatha meditation, as taught by Jetsama in her book Stabilizing the Mind, which is our teacher here. So this is a foundational meditation practice. We hear about meditation so much these days. It's like kind of, we can find it everywhere, whether people are trying it in classrooms for the first time or in kind of areas of wellness or health. We've heard it can lower our blood pressure or make us really relaxed. But the point of meditation, the whole reason that we do it is to create a more relaxed, stable, and open mind. And meditation trains our mind to become more relaxed and open, but also alert and wakeful. So the whole point of meditation is to create more spaciousness in our mind. And we can think of all the things in our life that are competing for that spaciousness. Our to-do list, the many things that life throws us, the many ways we can become distracted. And we think of all the ways we maybe care for our bodies by like working out or eating well, um, and all the ways we care for others in our lives. But meditation is really about, how do we care for our minds, and how do we actually give our mind rest, true rest. Um, and sometimes that's even a concept that we've never even thought of, like resting our minds. It can seem very foreign to us. So meditation really gives us that intentional time to rest the mind, creates stability in the mind. And in that way, we can handle everything that life throws us. We can create more spaciousness around our reactions, around our emotions, around our communication. Whatever that is, we can, respond from a place of spaciousness. So it changes our life completely. And it doesn't always have to even, look like this, like we're sitting on the ground for a formal meditation. We have access to that stability and spaciousness in our mind whenever we need. So in Buddhism, it's also really important to create that stability of meditation, because it's the first step in the development of bodhicitta, which mentioned earlier was that um, compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So we'll take a comfortable seat on the floor, or whether you're in a chair. Again, you can do this either way. But the main point, whether you're sitting in a chair or on the ground, is to have our spine straight, and not in a rigid way, but just in a lifted way. And our shoulders are back and our elbows are back. So we're not kind of hunched over ourselves. And you can either have your hands on your thighs, or a traditional posture is to have the right over the left with your thumbs touching like this. You can rest that your hands in your lap like that. And we're actually going to keep, I know meditations have their eyes closed. So we're keeping our eyes open but relaxed, and we're staring down towards the floor. Not, no, we're not staring at the floor. So it's more of a gazing at the floor in that direction, almost like if you were to draw a line from the tip of your nose extending out to the floor and picking a point on that line to rest your gaze. So we're resting our gaze, and we're breathing naturally and allowing a little bit of that breath to move through our mouth. So we have the tip of our tongue resting behind the two front teeth, almost like we're saying the letter L. So we're just letting a little bit of breath also enter the mouth like that, through the nose and the mouth. And we're breathing naturally. So there's nothing forced about our breath. We're not counting our breath. It might take a few deep breaths to get to our natural pace. So that's fine to do that as well. But just breathing naturally, gazing towards the floor. And our attention is going to be on the breath. So when thoughts arise, which they tend to do, we're just going to return our attention to the breath. And it's not a heavy attention. It's a very light attention on the breath, like a gossamer thin attention on the breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of the breath. And as thoughts arrive, again, we return to the breath. We just let the thoughts go. If they seem extra busy today, if the thoughts are taking our mind, jumping our mind from one place to another, we can imagine we're picking up the thought and throwing the thought out, or even cutting the thought with scissors and returning to our breath. Sometimes, visual aids like that can help us a lot if our mind seems very busy or distracted. So again, breathing naturally, and if thoughts arise, we just almost like a bubble rising to the surface of the lake. We let the bubble pop, and we return to the breath. So we'll start with a shorter meditation, just to try to create that stability of mind and see how we do. And if you're new to meditation, you can start this with even just 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and slowly build your meditation through time and consistency. So we'll start with 5 minutes together. And just bring my timer out here. And okay, starting now. So you can just stretch or have a sip of water. We'll increase our time a little bit, and again, whenever a thought arises, just return to the breath. Also, a technique is if you're feeling like your mind feels very busy today, you can actually lower your gaze a little bit more to let less light in the eye, so that our mind's more focused and kind of calms the mind. And the same goes the other way. If we're feeling very sleepy today, we can actually raise our gaze a little bit to let more light in the eye, which will cause our mind to be more wakeful. So whether there's, internal distractions in our mind or sounds in the room, whatever it is, we return to the breath as our point of focus. So let's increase our time. And then we'll do one more session after that, a shorter time. I kind of return to what we just did now. All right, starting now. All right, do one more shorter session. Feel free to stretch or some water. And so our central focus today, our single pointed focus is on the breath. But on your own time, if you're trying to do meditation throughout the week, you can also focus on like a statue or a flower or a stone or something that you are gazing at. But the wonderful thing about focusing on our breath is that it's always with us and it's always accessible. So that's why we do that here today. And we also have many resources on our KPC Kunzang Peocho on YouTube. So we have many different types of techniques and teachings on meditation there with our meditation playlist and different types of meditation to try. So we'll do just a short one to finish up. We'll do 3 minutes together. And again, it's important for whatever arises during meditation, whether we feel really distracted or really clear. It's about not being attached to the outcome of our meditation. It's really more about showing up each time and being consistent and building upon our meditation practice and not judging it or saying, today this was really great, or now I'm really distracted, or this went really well. So it's not about being perfect, just about creating that stability and that well of spaciousness. And it takes practice to do that. So we just keep working at it. So we'll finish with 3 minutes and then we'll do the dedication prayers on the back. So after that. Okay, so let's do 3 more minutes. So to seal in the blessing, the merit, the virtue of our practice here today, we always finish with a dedication. That's on the back of the sheet here if you'd like to, if you feel like you like to read along with us, and I'll put it on the screen as well here. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So thank you so much for joining us today. We do this every week, Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. And then we, shortly after this, we actually do a drum circle over at the Guru Rinpoche statue. And yeah, at 11:30. Oh, sorry, one on the screen. And then we have instruments there for everyone. You can bring instruments, and we also we chant some mantra there as well. So you can join us there. And if anyone online is local, you can come. That's at 11:30 across the street. So yes.